Welcome to Get Real with JB. Today's episode dives deep into a story many fear but few talk about openly. The journey of a man who left his wife for a colleague, turning an affair into a marriage. What seemed like a fresh start soon became tangled with guilt, distrust, and public judgment. We'll explore the emotional fallout that affected everyone involved, revealing the complexities behind choices made in love and the unexpected consequences that follow. This is a real story about love, loss, and the price we pay when passion collides with truth. Let's get real. A small disclaimer. To protect the identities of those involved, the names in the story have been changed, but the emotions and experiences shared are 100% real. Raghav was 38 when it all began. A successful marketing executive in a big media firm in Mumbai, he had been married to Meera for 12 years. Their life was stable, not exciting, not romantic, but stable. They had a 10-year-old daughter Nitya who was the center of their world. Raghav and Meera weren't unhappy exactly, but they weren't deeply connected anymore. Their conversations were routine, even their fights had become mechanical. Then came Naina, a 32-year-old content head who had recently joined the same company. She was sharp, confident, and brought a fresh energy to the office. She and Raghav worked closely on a campaign. Long hours turned into late-night coffee runs, project meetings turned into personal chats, and before either of them could define what was happening, an emotional bond had already formed. Raghav felt seen in a way he hadn't in years. With Naina, he laughed freely, he opened up, and he felt alive. She wasn't just a fling. He was falling for her. It wasn't long before the emotional connection turned physical. The guilt hit him hard. Every time he returned home, he felt like a criminal. He started avoiding Meera, snapping at her over small things, pretending to be tired. One night she asked, "Are you in love with someone else?" Raghav paused, then nodded. Meera didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply walked away. 2 weeks later, Raghav moved out. He left the house, his daughter, his 12-year-old marriage, and moved in with Naina. In the beginning, it felt like freedom. Raghav and Naina set up a small apartment together. They cooked dinner, stayed up watching movies, went on impromptu weekend trips. It felt young, adventurous, reckless, but thrilling. But thrill has a short shelf life. Within the first year, cracks began to show. Not in love, but in trust. Naina, who had once admired Raghav's charm, now questioned his silences. She knew he was capable of deception. After all, he had lied to Meera for months. If he could do it once, couldn't he do it again? Raghav, on the other hand, felt the pressure to prove every day that he had made the right choice, that leaving his family was worth it. But how do you justify breaking something sacred if the new life feels ordinary? He missed Nitya terribly. She didn't speak to him much after the separation. Birthdays passed in silence. School events came and went without his presence. Meera didn't stop her daughter from speaking to her father, but she didn't encourage it either. Public judgment came next. Friends distanced themselves. At office parties, people whispered. Some colleagues outright told him they were disappointed. Extended family kept their opinions quiet, but their absence at the second wedding said everything. Yes, they got married. 2 years after the affair began, Raghav and Naina registered their marriage. It was a quiet ceremony, just paperwork and awkward glances. The moment Naina signed her name as Mrs. Raghav, she felt a chill. This was what she wanted, right? To be with the man she loved? Then why did she feel so alone? Marriage is different from an affair. Affairs are exciting, unpredictable, dangerous. Marriages are built on routines, bills, responsibilities. Once the secrecy and thrill faded, Raghav and Naina had to face each other as partners, not as lovers escaping from something. And that's when the real work began. Naina started resenting the way Raghav compared everything to his past. Every time they had a disagreement, he'd say, "This is exactly what I used to deal with in my first marriage." It made her feel like a replacement, not a fresh chapter. Raghav, on the other hand, grew distant. He began carrying guilt like a second skin. Every festival reminded him of what he had lost. Every silence from his daughter broke him a little more. He didn't show it, but it chipped away at him. They tried counseling. They went for therapy sessions where everything was laid bare. Naina admitted she felt like the other woman, even after becoming a wife. Raghav confessed he often wondered if he had confused excitement for love. It was raw, painful, and deeply uncomfortable. They stayed together, but the love had changed. It became cautious, guarded, full of unspoken rules. 5 years into the marriage, Raghav turned 45. He attended Nitya's school play alone, sitting in the back. Meera was in the front row. When Nitya took the stage, she avoided looking at her father. Raghav sat there clapping like a stranger. Later that night, he broke down. "I lost everything for love," he said to Nana, "and now I'm not even sure I have that." Nana didn't know what to say. She wasn't the villain people painted her to be. She hadn't made him leave his wife. She didn't manipulate or seduce him. She had simply fallen in love. But love, in this case, had come with a price neither of them could afford. They knew what people said behind their backs, that karma had caught up, that this was bound to happen, that you can't build happiness on someone else's pain. Were they wrong to fall in love, or just wrong in how they handled it? Raghav often wondered if things would have been different had he stayed and tried to fix his first marriage. Nana often wondered if she had mistaken loneliness for compatibility. Neither of them had the answers. I have sat with the story for a while now, and it's one of those stories that lingers. This story left me with more questions than answers. It's one of those situations where no one comes out untouched, because life isn't always fair, and love doesn't always show up at the right time or in the right way. From Raghav's side, I get it. Feeling emotionally disconnected in a long marriage, feeling invisible in your own home, it can be lonely. And when someone new enters your life and makes you feel heard, seen, understood, it's tempting to believe that this new connection is your second chance. I don't think he meant to hurt Meera or destroy his family, but the truth is he still did. Not out of malice, but out of emotional desperation, maybe even immaturity. And then there's Nana. We paint women like her with one brush. The other woman, the home wrecker, the affair. But rarely do we stop to ask, what did she feel? She didn't set out to fall for a married man. She fell for someone she worked closely with, someone who confided in her, someone who felt broken. She wasn't trying to steal a life. She thought she was building a new one. And yet, even after they got married, she remained branded as the affair, not the wife. That judgment never really left her. It's hard for both of them because once the honeymoon phase fades, what's left is the reality. The weight of guilt, the constant comparison to the past, the public perception that never quite shifts. Love can grow in strange places, but sustaining it takes more than passion. It takes accountability, patience, and a willingness to sit with discomfort every single day. Raghav tried to move forward, but the emotional cost followed him. Nana tried to build something new, but the foundation never felt solid. And Meera, she picked up the pieces and rebuilt alone. This story doesn't have a clear hero or villain, just people. Flawed, hopeful, confused people. And that's what makes it so human. So I leave you with a few questions. What do you think? Can an affair ever truly turn into a healing, lasting marriage? Is it fair to judge people forever for choices made in moments of weakness? And is love still love if it causes someone else pain? I don't have all the answers. I just know this. Every real story leaves us a little more awake than before. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Until then, keep it real.